The European Union says that the trade policy set out by the new U.S. President Donald Trump is doomed to fail. The Trade Commissioner Cecilia Malmstrom says that no country can become great again by rebuilding borders, reimposing trade barriers, and restricting people's freedom to move. Speaking a day after Trump pulled the U.S. out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, Malmstrom added that the EU is still committed to open borders and economies. Earlier, China, which had been left out of the TPP free trade deal, called on the Asia-Pacific region to contribute to global economic growth with openness.
The Asia-Pacific region should continue to play the role of engine in global economy, build an open economy, and make contributions to the world's economic growth. We think that in the present situation, no matter what happens, all should keep going down the path of open, inclusive, continuous development, seeking cooperation and win-win situation.
The TPP was a pillar of former U.S. President Barack Obama's policy to establish economic leadership in the region. Beijing, however, has proposed its own Asia-Pacific regional free trade deal. A senior Chinese foreign ministry official has suggested that the country is ready to lead the world economy if necessary for the common good. Ruzba Ali Abadi, managing partner at Global Growth Partners, joins us from New York. So my information to you is based on what happened at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Ruzba, and the fact that it is said that China is going to somewhat, at least that's what the consensus would, replace the U.S. The U.S. is going to turn inwards. But first, does the European Union, Trade Commissioner, have a point when it comes to Trump and that he has failed policies when it comes to, I guess, the economy based on rebuilding borders, reimposing trade barriers, etc.?
Absolutely, Kaveh. I think EU is anxious because first now they're dealing with Brexit and also the wave of new nationalism within EU countries. In particular, we'll see probably in France as well. But what they're talking about and what they're agitated about is the fact that protectionism is not the solution and will not bring more stability to the markets, to the global markets. And in terms of Davos, President Xi Jinping just last week said protectionism, without mentioning the name President Trump or America, called protectionism is almost like locking yourself in a dark room. So China is getting ready. It's becoming this beacon of hope for global stability when it comes down to trade issues. On the issue of TPP and the issue of other trade partnerships, but let's just focus on TPP for a second. One of the big issues we have is we have 12 countries as part of the pact. Now it's 11 countries because one of the first things President Trump did was withdrawing from that, which, by the way, John McCain, one of the proponents of President Trump and the GOP leader, called it a huge strategic and political mistake for the United States in the Asia-Pacific region. Now, that was 40% of the global economy. That was roughly about 1/3 of all global trade. Bottom line is this type of protectionism that President Trump is symbolically showing to the U.S. Congress, to the American people, and to the global community is going to backfire. Remember, trade is not a one-way street. When President Trump says we will buy American, we will hire American, remember, if that is going to translate into more protectionism and more walls and, frankly, more tariffs, other countries will reciprocate it as well. Just look at yesterday, Australia and New Zealand, two other members of TPP, just asked China to join and replace the United States in that pact. So it was a huge mistake for the United States. And I believe the American people will pay for the consequences of President Trump's decision to withdraw out of TPP and others. So there's going to be a lot of instability, and it's going to be, in a way, hurt the United States economy more so than the global economy in the years to come.
Well, but then we look at Trump and his history in terms of the way that he has conducted business, and one would think, well, why would he not realize that he's making a mistake? Why is it that he feels that these trade deals are not worth it, that he feels like the U.S. should deal with countries individually? Because he's not for the EU, and he told the UK, hey, forget about the EU. Brexit is a great thing. Come with us. We're going to do a trade deal and speed up the time.
Yeah, well, first of all, there was a lot of campaign rhetorics. What is surprising is President Trump's campaign rhetoric transformed into executive actions in Washington on the first day. But this is going to be a lose-lose proposition for the United States. Remember, President Trump before he became a politician and 45th president of the United States, was a businessman. So he did not believe in win-win. Global trade is about win-win. It's not a zero-sum game. He will realize this very soon, that he cannot go ahead and unilaterally or even on bilateral basis deal with various countries on a zero-sum game status. It's not going to happen. What we have to see, Friday is going to be an important day, because Friday President Trump will be meeting with his counterpart from the United Kingdom, Theresa May, and they will be discussing various issues, including trade. Theresa May indicated that she will be talking about bilateral trade issues. Let's see whether or not Britain will be talking about global trade issues as well. But what seems to be happening is, at least for the time being, the White House has chose to go forward with the dialogue of closed rather than we are open for business. This is going to backfire, and as we saw in Davos, this opportunity has been seized by President Xi Jinping in order to replace, in a way, the United States as a beacon of stability for global trade. So we shall see to what extent President Trump will be continuing his line of rhetoric that he used in the campaign, for broader foreign policy issues and broader trade issues for the White House.
I believe the next issue he's going to deal with is NAFTA. That already came up in the news. I wish we had time to talk about it. But thank you. Roozbeh Ali Abadi, Managing Partner at Global Growth Partners. Pleasure to talk to you, talking to us there from New York.